Hello, and welcome to Illustrator Exercise Line and Shape Collection Part 1. So we're going to explore different lines and shapes using Adobe Illustrator. I want to show you the pen tool, the pencil tool. I will show you the line segment. I don't think it really works that well. The shape tools. And then also I want to remind you about the selection tools. The pen tool is an important one to really focus on in this assignment. You can look on Canvas, you can see below I have examples of the different lines I want you to collect. Think about lines that are organic and geometric. Think about shapes that are organic and geometric. The file is here, and then you can look to see what it should look like when you open it. So make sure you listen to the beginning video. Just talks a little bit about the fundamental aspects of design. It talks about what a line is and what shape is. So after you do that, you'll watch this video and download. Then click on it or find it somewhere on your desktop. You should have the Adobe Suites open. If you do not, I always make sure I have mine in my dock. To go, applications, located in applications, and then make sure you're clicking on the right folder, and then click on the software. So keeping both of these open, shutting this window for the download because we want to look over these examples. You'll go through these examples using the tools in the toolbar. All right, let's look at the interface. So on the top here, we have this bar of information. Make sure that's on. You do that by going under Window. And then Window, you want to look for Control and make sure that's checked. This indicates information that's important what we're going to be doing. Some people like to use Properties, which is found on the right-hand side. I prefer to use the top control panel. All right, going in order from the top to the bottom, we will be using the Selection tool for the Pen tool. Within the Pen tool, there's different tools that we will be using. An Add Anchor Pen tool, a Delete Anchor Pen tool, an Anchor Pen tool, and then the Direct Select tool. Pull this panel out, just like that. So you have all your tools available. Next, we're going to look at the shapes. So here's all the shapes. Again, click on that little button, which will open that up. And then we can look through all the shapes. So you have the rectangle, a rounded rectangle, circle, polygon, and star. I think within these two tools and the pencil tool to draw your items out. The next things below that's important is the hand. Move around your page. If you want to change the view, the zoom mode, fill and strokes, also found on here, and strokes are found here. Down here is also a way to increase the size of the image. And then again, use the hand to kind of pull down where we're going to want to start. Then you might want to maneuver these to the other side so that you get, but set this up for yourself, however way it works well for you. We are going to start with line, organic, and geometric. You look at the sample over here. These are just a starting point. Please feel free to go beyond these lines I have illustrated. So the first one, I'm just going to show you just the first two and how I made the lines thick and thin. For the organic line, I use the pencil. So we grab the pencil and then I do the organic line. If you do not see after you deselect it by going to the selector, a line there, then you did not have the fill stroke on to black. If it's not on fill, it will look like this, but then when it's undeselected, you won't see anything. All right, to make this more geometric, which is this one, I want to maybe use the pen tool. When I get to this point, I make nice jagged line for geometric. Look how the color is filling up very oddly. I'm gonna hit P, go back to the pen tool to stop the line continuing. But I'm also gonna go back here and make sure that it is on the stroke. If it's in the fill, it's going to fill in the lines oddly. So let's make sure it's always on the stroke. So this mark is done. I either can click on here or I can click on here to stop it extending. The pen tool wants you to close the path, so it will not release until you have closed it. The next thing I want to talk about is how to make this more interesting, like I've made here. To make the thick and thin, I played around with the stroke. So first I made it really thick. And then I've looked at this uniformed option. And here I can play around with it and it will make the sides thick or thin. So it starts thin, thick, and then thin again. If I click it again, I can try a different shape. Now it's thin, thin, but thick. So play around how you would like to use that, if you would like to use that, to make it a more unique line form. But basically the idea is you just have a good time creating lines. All right, also think when you're looking at this, if you look at the geometric and look at the organic, there are some feelings that these lines are portraying. Some are more aggressive, some are light and playful and fun. Think about what kind of stroke, also what kind of motion. So shape, pick a few shapes. And here I want it to be in fill. So instead of thinking about stroke, let's make sure the stroke is off and it's on fill only. So to make a perfect square, you can be on the rectangle tool, shift and drag, make it equal on either side. If I want to make a rectangle, I just pull and drag. Now polygon, if I click, it gives me options. So I can make a 5-sided, I can make an 8-sided, I can make a 3-sided. So this shape really allows you, if you are on it and select it and then click, get that cross and click, it'll allow you to adjust the size. The star will let you adjust the size too. So if you want to make it equal in radius, this became a very large shape. That's why it went really black. So to see this shape, we can do two things. We can either go down here and expand our view, or we can use the command V plus and minus. So if I want to go out, I'm going to go command minus. You can see how large that became. And then I want to go to control. I want to hit the corner, and I want to hit shift to keep it equal in size. And then I'll just drag it back into my area. And I want to make sure it's closer to the size of the square. Now that I've got that, I want to do command plus to increase the size. And then I can reduce it to fit within the size. All right, so that's making shapes using already the shape tool. All right, we kind of flipped this around. Even though this is under organic, we're going to make a copy of it and start doing the organics because we've completed the geometric. Command C, copy, and then paste, which is then command P. So if I bring this over, I can start making these shapes more organic. Dots come up on the corner. So there's circles within a circle in the middle, and they're always kind of snug to a corner. If I pull that, it automatically makes the corner curved, giving it an organic shape. So the next thing I want to do is maybe think about getting the pen tool out again and playing with the shape using the pen tool. So what I could do is I can click off of it, click back on. See how these are all light colors and this is a solid? I can move just that shape. Then from there, I can also select that V tool, and it will allow me to make, by pulling out, those edges curved. which could create funky shapes. So again, the direct selection tool, I can bring out sections to make unique and interesting shapes. And then I can just curve them like this using the pen tool to create an organic shape. So I do have this mixed up. Make sure you're in the right order. This side is organic, which we were working on, and this side was geometric. Select them all using the selection tool and bring them here. So any shape you want to try to use the ones that I did exactly, that's fine. If you want to make up your own, that's great. Just fill up the page with all these different shapes, thinking about curvedness of organic and the sharpness of geometric. Even in the line, the curvedness of the line and the sharpness of organic. Also think about how you can make the line form interesting by using the ununiformed line. So you'll see a thick and a thin by applying a thick or thin stroke to it at first. Please just have fun. Once you're done, make a PDF and submit it. To do that, go up to File, Save As. You want to change this to a PDF. You put in your last name and save it to a folder on your desktop. You should be saving each of the assignments under some sort of filing, maybe the name of the project. You don't need to have any of these on. Just take them all off. You do not want to preserve editing path. That makes these files larger and is unnecessary for what I need. And then hit save. Make sure you also save this original. Right now you have a PDF, it's flat. You cannot manipulate or change it or do anything. So make sure you go back, File, Save As, and you want to make sure it's an Illustrator file. So one file is a PDF and one file is an Illustrator. The Illustrator file you should keep for your own records just in case you want to improve something. AI is the original Adobe Illustrator file. PDF is a portable file that you send to me.